Good morning, students. So, I hope you are all good and doing your studies, and your studies are going well. So, today we are going to study history, a new chapter, that is lesson number 4, that is Vedic civilization. Okay. So, giving a brief introduction about Vedic civilization, or telling about Vedic civilization. The Vedic civilization was having three principles, that is knowledge, worship and karma, and they are known as Vedic literature also. And the religious text of originating or composed in a Sanskrit, Vedic Sanskrit language in India. Okay, and the text constitute the oldest layer of Sanskrit literature. Now, this Vedic civilization is known as the oldest layer of Sanskrit literature and the oldest scripture of Hinduism. Okay, so you understood what is Vedic civilization or Vedic literature. The Vedic literature and the Vedic civilization both are the same. So, as we see, the Vedic texts are known as Shamita. So Vedic text means what? Whatever the written work is there. You can see in the first picture. So whatever the Vedic text is written, so what is in the textbook or what is written in the Vedic text is known as Shamita. Ved means to know. Now what is Ved? Ved means to know. The term Veda derives from Ved. It means knowledge. Now see, we are going to study the 4 types of Vedas in this chapter, that is Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samarth Veda and Atharva Veda also. So moving to the next point, the Vedas has been preserved through the oral tradition. Now whatever the Vedas were present or whatever it was preserved means what is kept for many long years ago, that is oral tradition. The Vedas are also called as Shruti. Now whatever the Vedas are there, so it is also called as Shruti. The Rig Veda is considered to be the first text. Now as I told, we are going to study the 4 Vedas. Now in the 4th Veda, the Rig Veda is considered to be the first form of text, and it is written in the written form, and it is how it is written in the verses. Now you can see the verses. Yes, okay. And during this long period of Vedic civilization, many changes underwent it. So many changes were going through the this civilization, and it is also very important to our day-to-day life. Okay, so understood the 1.1, that is Vedic literature. Okay, so it is very clear. Means it is told that what is Ved? Ved means to derive knowledge. As I told, were the principles of Vedic civilization was knowledge, and so it came here, and the Rig Veda is the first, and these all Vedas were called as Shruti. Okay, and the Vedas which are written in the text are known as Shamita. So we'll move to the Vedas. So we are going to see the first Veda, that is Rig Veda means Shamita. Rig Veda Shamita. Shamita means written form or the text. It is a text. So each verses of Veda is known as a Richa. So the Veda consisting of Richa is called Rig Veda. Now whatever it is written verses is known as Richa, means they are very rich, and Richa means composed to praise a deity. So whatever deity, so whatever it is written, it is whatever the Richa means, the verses composed to praise, means whatever it is written, it is composed to praised. When these verses are come together and it is praise in a poetic composition, it is called as Sukta. So whatever it is the verses which are brought together, it is called as Sukta. The Rig Veda consists of sukta composed to praise different deities, means different various praising to various gods. It is also called as sukta. Okay, understood? So we will move to the next, that is Yajurveda. Now what is Yajurveda? Yajurveda means wherever the yajna, whatever the yajnas are there, it contains mantras. All mantras are written in Yajurveda. Okay, and it is used for different situation in the yajna rituals, means whatever the different guidelines is given to use for different purposes also. This text includes verses of poetic and their explanation in the prose. Now whatever it is also in a poetic manner. Okay, understood? Okay, we'll move to the Sam Veda. Now what is Sam Veda? Sam Veda is the Rig Veda. Whatever the Rig Vedas are written, or the verses written in the Rig Vedas, to set a rhythm and a tune to them, that is called as Sam Veda. And Sam Veda is a foundation of Indian music. It is laid the foundation of the Indian music. So that is that this much is only the Sam Vedas. Okay, so we'll move towards the next point, that is Atharva Vedas. Now Atharva Vedas is very different from these three Vedas. Okay, it tells different things to us. Okay, the Atharva Veda is named after Atharva Rishi, means there was a Rishi, a well-known person from it, named Atharva Veda. It tells about different. It tells different from other three Vedas. What it tells? It includes solution to advertise and diseases. It provides information for medical herbs also, and it provides us a medical herbs also. And whatever we are going to learn, means whatever the solutions, whatever the medical or the diseases which are caused, or the advertisement, it is done by the Atharva Veda, and it provides guidelines to the kingdom of the, means it is provide guidelines to the king how he should follow, he should administrate his kingdom, how smoothly he should run his kingdom, and what changes should be done in his kingdom, so that people can live a prosperous life during his ruling. So the people should be happy. So it is provides a guidance to the king also. The Brahmana texts, the Aranyanas and the Upanishads were written after all the compositions of the Samhitas. They are also included in the Vedic literature. Now, the Brahmanas, the Aranyanas and Upanishads, these all are written after the composition, means when the all these four Vedas are written, after that they have written, these are written, and these are included in the Vedic literature also. So understood this much? Okay, we'll move to the next point, that is Brahmana text. Now Brahman text. So Brahmana, they were composed to provide guidance on using mantras in the yajnas rituals. They were composed to provide guidelines, means they used to guide the people, or they used to how the rituals of yajna should be there, and they were providing guidance. Each Vedas has dependent text called Brahmanas. So whatever the Vedas are there, it is dependent text. Moving to the next point, that is Aranyanas. Aranyanas, who the people who are living in the forest, or living the students living there, or for a deep meditation, it is very useful, and it is emphasized less on rituals, means it is given less importance to the rituals, and it is given more importance to the philosophy and concluding part of a Brahmana. So whatever the Brahmana's concluding part means the part which is getting over, the last point, that is a concluding part of a Brahmana. Okay, understood? So we'll move to the next point, that is Upanishad. So what is Upanishads? Upanishad, it means that to indicate knowledge by sitting at the feet of the teacher. Means whenever at in the Vedic period they used to get knowledge in the sitting in the front of the feet of the teacher, of the guru, and gain knowledge from it. Whatever the Gurukul system was started, and it was started from this Vedic period itself. Human beings have always wondered about the events like life and the death. Okay, whatever the events were have been wondered, so whatever it would be like life and death. They were wondering about that. It was not easy to find answers to them. Means it was very difficult to find answers on the life and the death. The four Vedas. Now see, when these four Vedas and the Brahmanas, Arakyanas and Upanishads are composed means when they are written 1500 years ago. Means 1500 years ago it has been written. During this long period, the Vedic civilization underwent many changes. Means during this period the changes were happening very regularly. So the Vedic literature is an important study to change those changes due to changes day-to-day life in the Vedic period. Means the Vedic literature is an important study of those changes in today's day-to-day life in the Vedic period also. Okay, so we'll move to the next point, that is 4.2, that is family system, day-to-day life of the people. Now what is the day-to-day life of the people? So we'll see how the people were living, how the what clothes they were wearing, how the houses were, what food they were eating. We'll see everything in this 4.2. Joint family system was prevalent in the Vedic period. Means it was very much given importance for the joint family. The Grihapati was the head of the family, a main responsible for family. So a Grihapati was head of the family and man was responsible for the family. Now in your home also, your father is only responsible for your family itself. So it is called as Grihapati. In this family there were old parents, wife and children, and also family members of the children, the younger brother and their families. Now whatever it was there, so who were living in the family? There were old parents, wife, children, families, and the younger brother and their families too. These families were partially women scholars such as Lopamudra, Gargi and Maitreya in Vedic literature. Slowly the restriction on women went on increasing and their position in the family and society became secondary. Now this is all about the women. Means slowly the restriction of the woman came, means the restriction on the woman was increasing, and from their position it came to the secondary position in the society. Okay, so we'll move to the next point, that is town planning. So you can see there in the town planning we are looking houses of the family, houses. What are the houses? How the houses are built in the Vedic civilization or in the Vedic period. So see the first picture. The houses during the Vedic period were earthen or wattle and debut construction. The wattle means woven lattice of wooden strips, and which is debuted with the clay mixed with cow dung. Now you can see there the wooden sticks. Okay, a house was called as Girha or Sahala. So whatever the house means the types of houses, it was called as Girha or Sahala. So you can see how the houses were built in the picture very clearly. Okay, now we'll move to the next point. Just See the first point, what people used to eat at that time. The diet of the people mainly consists of wheat, barley, rice. The words given for Java, Gudhum, Vigro, etc. can be used in the Vedic literature. Means they were given some names. Yava means barley, Gudhum means wheat, Vihiri means rice. Okay, I think so I am pronouncing right only. The Vedic people relished milk, means they used to like milk, yogurt, ghee, honey, black grams, synonyms, meat were also part of their diet. The people in the Vedic period used cotton and woolen garments. They also used volkas or other made from barks of trees. Animal skin also used for clothing. Now see what people were using. They were using of cotton and woolen garments, valkas or clothes made from barks of the trees, and they were using animal skin for clothing also. Now we don't use, but at that time, in the ancient time, they were using. Now see what ornaments men and women were using of gold, flowers, garland, string made of beads, etc., and a pendant called nikshkala. Now nikshkala is a pendant and which seems to be very popular, and it was also used as a currency in Vedic period or in the Vedic civilization. Coming to the second last point, that is singing, playing, musical instrument, dance, broad games, chariot race and hunting were the means of recreation. There were Veena shalt and these coming to the last point, some instruments like damrus and mridang were also being used. Means they were introduced new instruments like damrus and mridang were also used in the Vedic life. Okay, so we'll move to the next point, that is agriculture and animal husbandry, economic and social life. Now we'll see what is the economic and the social life of the people. Okay, agriculture was the main occupation during the Vedic period. Many oxen were yoked together to plow the field. The plow and had iron plowshares. Farmers usually raised one or two crops. They include barley, wheat, cotton and mustard. Now also we are growing the same thing, that is wheat, barley, cotton. As agriculture production increased, trade too developed. Now whatever the agriculture process was increased, so the trading was also growing up. Now see which animals were they like. They like horse, cows and dogs, and had special importance. So horses, cows and dogs, they had very special importance in this Vedic civilization. So Vedic civilization, basically they were doing agriculture, plowing, what they were which crops they were growing. They were growing barley, wheat, cotton and mustard. So these types of crops were growing in the Vedic civilization. We'll move to the next point, that is caste system. During the Brahman periods, there were 4 varnas. Now 4 varnas means from here only the casteism started, and still we are following the casteism now itself. Okay, means see the Brahman, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya and Sudra. So these all were the 4 varnas. Okay, they were the part of Vedic literature or the Vedic civilization, and from this only the caste system or the caste discrimination started. A varna was determined by the occupation of the people. In the later period, the varna came to be determined on the basis of birth. So see, first varna was determined on the basis of occupation of the people, means whatever they were doing work or whatever occupation was there, and later it determined on the basis of birth. Now whatever the birth means, if you are born in Brahmin family, if you are born in Kshatriya family, if you are born in Vaishya family, and if you are born in Shudra family, so these were determined on the basis of the birth. This gave rise to caste, means this gave rise to caste system. So this is the main what we say, the main source of caste system. The caste system led to inequality in the society. Now the people, they do not live in inequality, means there are no understanding between them. So because of that, why it was inequality? Because of this caste system. During the Vedic period, the certain notion about leading an ideal life had become well established. Means during this Vedic period, the people were knowing to live their life very nicely, very enthusiastically, very a systematic way of the life. But there were 4 stages of ashramas from birth to death. Means there were 4 stages from ashramas from birth to death. Okay, now we'll move to this next point, that is 4.4, religious ideas. Now see what are the religious ideas were there in the Vedic period. In the religious idea of the Vedic period, force of nature such as sun, wind, rain, lightning, storms and rivers were given from of deities. Means whatever the sun, wind, rain, lightning, they were told as God. Vedic composition pray them to become life-giving force. Means whatever they used to praise or whatever they used to pray, they used to get life-giving force, means giving life. The Vedic people put offerings into the yajnas, fire to please them. These offerings were called as havi. So you can see in the picture the yajnas, how the yajna is carried out, and we have to put whatever your offerings is there, you have to put in that fire. The yajnas is act of offering havi into fire, means whatever you have to offer into havi. Initially the yajnas rites were simple. Later on the rules of yajnas became harder and harder. Now the yajnas, whatever the rules, first it was very simple, it was very easy, but as the time moves or as the time goes on, it started becoming harder and harder. The importance of priest went on increasing. Means the who is doing the yajnas, they are called priest, and these priests has got lots of importance at that time. Means that they increase their importance very much. Now we'll see the second last the last point, that is political system. Okay, so after that the lesson will get over. So what is the political system? In the Vedic period, each village had a head known as Brahmin. So whatever the people in the Vedic period, they were living together, it was called as Brahmin. A group of village formed a Vish, whose head was called Vishwapati. So a group was formed in village, and that group leader was called Vishwapati. Several Vish formed a Jana, means several form means many people coming together, they were called Janas, and later they were known as Janpadas. So in the 6th chapter you are going to see what is Janpadas and Mahajanpadas. So Janpada is the people coming together, and who is the head? The head was known as Nipra, or a Raja, or a king. Okay, so Jana was known as Nipra or a Raja oblique king. The head of the Jana, means whatever the Janpadas were there, they used to settle. The Jana's head was known as the king. The main duties of the king were to protect people. So whatever the main duties of the Janas, the king, whatever the duties, first thing it was to protect the people. Second thing, collect the tax. Third thing, run the administration efficiently, smoothly, eventually, very enthusiastic manner. Okay, so I hope you have understood the lesson very clearly. It might be have no doubt. So, uh, thank you everyone. Stay safe at your home and be safe, and do take care of your parents as well.